PSN has just started a great flash sale and there are a lot of great games to pick up. It's going a little bit under the radar, so in this video we're going to take a look at 10 awesome deals as a part of this flash sale, and all of these deals are under $10. Let's just get right into this with the first game. Infamous Second Son for $8. Infamous Second Son was one of the PlayStation 4's early exclusives, and while I wouldn't say the game is quite as good as Sucker Punch's other Infamous titles in the first game and the second game, Second Son was still a very good game and it is visually absolutely stunning. The game's content does get a tad bit repetitive, but overall it's very good and it's got a decent amount of variety in its gameplay as well, and for $8 that is too good to pass up. I should also mention that the standalone expansion for Infamous Second Son, Infamous First Light, is on sale for $6, so you can check that out as well.
You through their security, because you're not a normal viral terrorist. Seem to be getting the hang of your new symptoms, right?
Dragon Age Inquisition Game of the Year Edition for $9.99. Dragon Age Inquisition was the first truly great RPG of this generation, and while it doesn't compare to some of the better RPGs that were released later on, it's still a very good game. Visually, once again, it's very pleasing to look at, and it's got a ton of content to it, especially with the Game of the Year Edition. You're getting a lot of extra content, and if you just want a solid, well-made RPG to play, then Dragon Age Inquisition is a really good buy, and at this price, $9.99, you're getting an incredible value and an incredible amount of content for your money. Mirror's Edge Catalyst for $5. Mirror's Edge Catalyst was one of the games that a lot of gamers were looking very much forward to this generation, a follow-up to Mirror's Edge, one of the cult classics of last generation. Unfortunately, I think many were a little bit disappointed by Mirror's Edge Catalyst. It did move to an open world format, but that probably hurt the game a little bit more than it helped, and it just lacked the innovation that the first game had. However, there are still some good things to the game. The gameplay is still very unique, and the parkour mechanics are just unique comparatively speaking to all the other games out there. And yeah, at launch for its full $60 price point, that probably was a little bit too much, but now that it's down to $5, you should give it a look.
Control to all units, converge on subject.
Titanfall 2 Ultimate Edition for $9.99. Titanfall 2 was one of the most underrated games of this generation. I've always harkened back to it as one of the more underrated first-person shooters of this generation, but in all honesty, it's one of the most underrated games of this generation. It was such a great sequel to the first Titanfall game, which didn't even release on the PlayStation, was rather bare bones in its content. However, with Titanfall 2, it completely remedies that. Now you do have a single-player campaign, and while it's not amazing, it's pretty good, and the multiplayer has so much more added depth to it with a lot of extra content, and this Ultimate Edition adds even more content to that. And for just $9.99, if you are even remotely a fan of quality first-person shooters, definitely give this one a look.
You have what's mine, and I want it back. Now for the fun part.
Matterfall for $8. Matterfall was a game done by Housemarque Studio, a studio that I often talk about, and if you don't know who they are, they've worked on some fantastic downloadable titles such as Super Stardust HD, Dead Nation, as well as Resogun. Matterfall was one of their more recent titles, and it was a very good 2D action platformer. The only real drawback to the game was that it was rather short. You can complete it pretty quickly, and its initial price point may have been a little bit too much, even though it was released at a budget price. Now that it's at $8, it's got the stylish visuals you know from Housemarque games, and it's a quality pickup for this price.
Like lots of foliage, atmospheric effects, and plants. This is the place where the oxygen is produced to the city. Basically, what you control with this game, in its core, it's a twin-stick shooter. You move with the left, shoot with the right. Here we are utilizing our dash move. You can actually dash through to enemies and stun them.
Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light are $8 each. Now I should have to mention, if you've yet to play either Metro 2033 or Metro Last Light and you want to get both games, you can pick up a bundle for just $12, so that is the best route to go. Alternatively, you could pick up each game for $8 a piece. Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light were both really good games. 2033 never even released on the PlayStation 3. It was an Xbox 360 and PC title. Last Light did come over to the PS3, however, performance performance-wise and technically, the last generation consoles did not do these games justice. Now with Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light, they look great on the PlayStation 4, they play great, and with Metro Exodus on the horizon, now is the perfect time to check out Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light. Personally, I did enjoy Last Light more, but if you want the entirety of the story, and that story is very good, I would definitely play both games. Outlast the Bundle of Terror for $7. Outlast the Bundle of Terror includes both Outlast 1 as well as Whistleblower, and if you've yet to play Outlast and you're a fan of survival horror games, I don't know what you're doing. Outlast took the gaming world by storm when it was released because it really invoked and had that embodiment of survival horror and made you a little bit terrified, which is great to see. A lot of games really can't invoke that, but Outlast does that in spades. A lot of gamers also did prefer Outlast 1 over Outlast 2. The Bundle of Terror does not include Outlast 2, that's more of a recent release. But still, it's a great value. You get the base game as well as Whistleblower. At just $7, that's a good pickup.
You gotta have faith. And that's what I'm here for. To make you believe.
Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag for $9.89. Assassin's Creed is one of the most iconic modern gaming franchises, and with good reason. The games have been very consistent, and yes, while there have been bad apples such as Assassin's Creed Unity, that has been heavily outweighed by excellent titles such as Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Black Flag was the first Assassin's Creed game that made its way over to the PlayStation 4. It was actually a launch title, and it was a great one at that. The naval-based gameplay added a whole new layer to your traditional Assassin's Creed gameplay. That traditional gameplay was still there, and it was done better than ever up until that point. The story is great, and the main character in Edward Kenway is awesome. He's very engaging, and it's a shame we didn't see more games centered around him, but Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag definitely did him justice, and at just $9.89, it is a great pickup. If you've never checked it out, please do so, especially if you're a fan of the franchise.
I want a taste of the good life. An easy life.
Now your courage terrifies empires.
If a man plays the fool, then it's only fools he'll persuade, but appear to be the devil. And all men will submit.
And kings and queens.
Dead Rising for $7. Dead Rising has seen a couple of ports over to the PlayStation 4. Unfortunately, we didn't see Dead Rising 3, but recently we did get Dead Rising 4, and the very first Dead Rising game also came over to the PS4 earlier. Yes, in terms of its technical appeal, it is not up there with the best looking PlayStation 4 games. However, Dead Rising still embodies all that fun that you know it for, and if you just want a mindless action game, this is the perfect one. And at just $7, if you've never played a Dead Rising game, you should check this one out. And finally, Transistor for $5. Transistor was Supergiant Games' second title following Bastion, and Transistor was followed by The Great Pyre. All of their games are very good. Bastion was a great game, Pyre is a great game, and Transistor is also a great game, being a very artistic strategy RPG of sorts. It's got some very unique mechanics, and stylistically, this is one of the most aesthetically pleasing games you are going to find. That goes with all of Supergiant Games. The way they present their games is just very unique, and it's very pleasing, even though in the traditional sense they might not be technical juggernauts. These are games that age very well and stand the test of time. And now that Transistor is down to $5, if you enjoyed Bastion, if you enjoyed Pyre, Transistor is definitely another game you should give a look to. And at this price, it is a bargain.
You always have a plan. And now, you have something more.
So that is going to wrap up 10 awesome deals under $10 that's a part of the PlayStation Store flash sale going on right now. The sale is going to last until February 19th until 8 a.m. Pacific time, so make sure you pick up the games you are interested in and let us know exactly what you plan on picking up. Sound off with your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching and goodbye.